Ja, guten Morgen, Freunde. Guten Morgen, meine lieben Zuschauer. Zu meinem ersten Let's Play Shadow Fight 2. Ich hoffe, es gefällt euch. Es wäre schön, wenn ihr meinen Kanal abonnieren würdet und dem Video ein Like hinterlassen könntet.
Once, I was a great, invincible warrior, and no one dared to stand in my way. I traveled the land, searching for a worthy battle, until I discovered the gates of shadows. I broke the laws of the elders and opened the gates. The demons of the other world were beyond them. They rushed upon me, tearing my flesh, draining my soul, turning me into a shadow. And now, for eternity, I am doomed to wander the world and fight the demons I freed.
Okaychen. Das ist ja sehr vielversprechend. Man sieht, ich hab's noch drauf. Alter, au. Nein. Haha. Ne, jetzt nur mal zur Info. Ich habe das Spiel schon einmal gespielt. Oh. Ein kritischer Stoß. Oh shit. Scheiße, Mann. Jawohl. Na, nein, das wirst du nicht, Bürschchen. Aber das soll nicht nur von Shadowfight sein.
Schweppes Tonic Water. Silent Night.
Star Wars: The Complete Saga is a revered video game held deeply in the hearts of many. There are all kinds of factors that make this game great, but one of the best and most memorable, in my opinion, is the sound design. Whether it be the classic Star Wars music, the weapon sound effects, the cutscene voices. Now, all of these are great, but the real cherry on top is the death sounds. With loads of characters in this game and varying death sounds, it's almost impossible to decide which one is the best, the top of the top. But I'm taking this task today to figure out what I believe are the top 10 LEGO Star Wars death sounds. Now, before we begin, just be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Shut the fuck up! Let's start off with some honorable mentions. First off is Padme. This one's always been a classic to me. Didn't want to leave it out of the video, but it just didn't make the list. Now, my second honorable mention goes to young Anakin and young Boba Fett. I just didn't want to leave their death sounds out of the video either, but again, like Padme, they just didn't make the top 10. And lastly, my third honorable mention goes to Imperial Spy. That satisfying crunch when you finally take him out at the end of Mos Eisley Spaceport, my god, that is the sound of victory, people. Let's get into the top 10 now, shall we?
Number 10.
The number 10 spot. Now this one was difficult, believe me, because this is where you're cutting things off, making things into honorable mentions, and just not adding things at all. But the number 10 spot that I chose was C-3PO and TC-14, who share two death sounds, actually. They alternate between the two death sounds. And here they are. I've always enjoyed listening to these ones, specifically the... You know when you're tearing up C-3PO and you're cutting his limbs off, and then finally you deliver that finishing blow and you hear the lovely... What a sound.
Number 9.
Now for number 9, I went a little different route. You see, this death sound is more simple, however, effective. And that is Princess Leia's death sound, or otherwise the default female death sound. This one has always stood out to me as a little more, one of the iconic ones, and I really felt that it deserved this spot on the list. With that said, moving on.
Number 8.
Now, number 8 is one that I think most of you will recognize. It is the Rebel death sound. Episode 4, Chapter 1. You hear this constantly. And let me tell you, it doesn't get old. Now, this death sound is shared between 5 different types of rebels. There's Rebel Trooper Hoth, Rebel Friend, Rebel Pilot, and Captain Antilles. I am sure they are proud to share this one.
Number 7.
At number 7, we have Anakin. Now, this is a death sound that I feel very nostalgic for. This one's always one of the first to come to mind whenever I think of LEGO Star Wars death sounds. Another thing that really elevates it on this list is that it actually sounds like Hayden Christensen. Back the entire clip.
Number 6.
So at number 6, we got Greedo. To me, this one is very complex.
Normal.
Number 6.
So at number 6, we got Greedo. To me, this one is very complex.
Ich mag einfach den Sound.
To me, this one is very complex. You know, most of the death sounds are usually just them shouting. But in Greedo's case, I would say it's more of an intimate connection with the player. If one of us, me or you, were to be shot by a blaster in real life, I think that we would make a sound similar to this. And because of that, I feel that there's a strong connection and a sense of relatability to Greedo's death sound. And that is why it ranks so high on this list.
Number 5.
We are halfway through the list, and at this point you're probably wondering, where is the default male death sound? Well, luckily for you, number 5 is the default male death sound. Talk about a classic. The default male death sound, otherwise known as Luke Skywalker's death sound, or even Han Solo's death sound, it's really used among many different characters, and I would say this is one of the more iconic death sounds most people recognize. It's one of the sounds you're used to hearing. Something I find interesting is that Darth Vader has this death sound, which I don't find fitting at all, and I think he should have his own unique death sound. And another character that has this death sound is Tan Wee. Tan Wee does not sound like this.
Number 4.
At number 4, we have the Emperor. I really like this one, and not just because it's such a memorable death sound, but also because it really reminds me just who the Emperor is. The sound itself sounds like a cry, but yet at the same time, it resembles a sadistic, evil laugh. And if you ask me, that reflects who the Emperor is as a character.
Number 3.
At number 3, we have everybody's favorite comic relief, Jar Jar Binks. I love these sounds. They sound so good. Let's listen to them again. Now here we have another double, like C-3PO and TC-14 had. Jar Jar, I guess, was just so important that they had to give him 2 death sounds, and they just couldn't settle for only one. Meanwhile, Luke Skywalker has to share a death sound with like 40 other characters. You know what, though? I'm not upset. I love these. That's why I rank them at number 3. Let's listen to them again. Imagine your whole body breaking into 9 different pieces. The reaction is...
Number 2.
Alright, we're at number 2 now. And at this point, we're getting into the real meat. With only 2 spots left on the list, I had to think hard. But at the same time, I didn't have to think hard. I had to think soft, because I thought that this was a pretty clear choice. Number 2 is Jango Fett with his lovely... I actually cannot get enough of that. I freaking love it. Jango Fett's voice in this game is great. I love his death sound. When I die in real life, I want my head to be chopped off, and I want to yell that as it happens. I want my head to yell that as it flies off of my body.
Number 1.
Here we are, folks. Number 1. We made it. We're here. I feel like for a lot of you, number 1 is going to be obvious. I think most of you already know what number 1 is. I think most of you already knew what number 1 was before you even clicked on the video. Number 1 is Jedi Master Yoda. Seriously, how do you create a sound this good? I did not think that audio was capable of retaining such a beautiful melody. Yoda's death sound inspires me. Imagine dying and blurting out this sound. Now I know I said that when I die, I want to have the Jango Fett death sound, but that's only because I don't feel I'm worthy of having the Yoda death sound. I go to know.
Das war's mit diesem Video. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Bitte abonniert meinen Kanal, liked dieses Video und schreibt in die Kommentare, wie ihr es gefunden habt.